I'm gonna put it on my. I'll tag you. I'll put it on my page.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's right. Saturday night, y'all. Saturday night. I'm putting this up on our Facebook, on my Facebook feed right now. I'm very excited. I'm improvising with a Facebook friend right now, so I'm tagging you in it. All right. We're trying a new thing. We're trying to do it through YouTube because it's going to be more reliable. So yeah, so tell your friends to go on my Facebook page, and they'll see it right there. And it's gonna be streaming on YouTube, but then also through my Facebook page.
I'm gonna tag her in the post.
Yeah, tag her in that post, and then let's see, my friend. We've got some really good suggestions, and you have 18. So pick a number. Pick a number between 1 and 18.
Okay. 14.
Ooh, good. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It is from Rick Haylon, and our suggestion is 11. 11.
11. Okay. For
Yeah.
We're one short of a dozen.
Yeah, we're at 11. I keep thinking that. I'm like, we just need one more. That's it. And then we got an even dozen. Like, I think that's a good number, right? I think 12 is a good number.
Yeah, an even baker's dozen, you know?
Ooh, that would be 13.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
I mean, we are bakers. We could do 13. I mean, I guess it makes no sense if we do 13.
Yeah, I mean, you're the logistics man, but that's why you're in charge, Steve. You know?
Right. I mean, that's kind of my thing, Donna. I mean, I think my whole life I've wanted to get into logistics. Like, I like how things operate. I like how things run. I like to keep it real smooth.
Yeah, and that's why you're such an amazing baker. Your attention to detail. Baking is all in the details. Because if you put 1 tablespoon too much yeast, you remember what happened when I did that. The dough just exploded everywhere.
I mean, we were cleaning dough out of the machines for days.
Yeah. And then we tried to throw it in the dumpster, and the yeast, because it was so hot, that 80-degree weather just kept proofing it.
It was like The Blob. It was like a science fiction movie. It just kept going over, like the dumpster, the lid was on it, and then it was like, you go, Steve, come here. And I went out, and we were there, and it just kept rising and rising, and it was like, I mean, all we could do was laugh at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not very good at paying attention to details at all.
No, you're more a big picture person, right? Like you see the details. I mean, that doesn't appeal to you, and that's why we work so well together. It's because I'm all about the details. Like my whole thing is like, we got to get this together, and you're more about like the vision. You're the vision behind us.
Yeah, we're like the eggs and the flour in a dough recipe. We balance each other out perfectly, and if one was missing, it would go nowhere.
I mean, how many times have we tried that? Remember? I mean, every day I think we started this in your garage, and we just it was a bunch of trial and errors, and we lived by that credo of like, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And I mean, literally, we did break a lot. I mean, and that saying's kind of strange if you think about it. You got to break eggs to make an omelet. I mean, how do you make an omelet without breaking the eggs?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could get those egg beaters, the ones that are in the carton that are just the egg white.
And you pour it.
But again, the details. They had to come out of an egg, and that egg broke somewhere, whether it was in a factory or you did it,
I mean, you're just like, I got an idea, and I'm there with my notebook, and I'm writing it down, and I'm like, I mean, that's what I get the joy out of that. You know what I mean? I get the joy out of like, You tell me your vision and I'll make it come to life.
Yeah, yeah. Um, just like when you stuck by me when I had that idea of the flourless dough because I misunderstood what gluten free meant and I didn't know that you had to find a replacement for the flour.
It was so funny because you're like, whenever anybody says gluten free, you used to be like, that's such BS. Gluten's in everything. People aren't gluten free. That's just a made up thing. And then slowly you're like, well, I think we could do something with this. And then it was like you
Yeah.
came up with that flourless chocolate cake, the lava cake, which I mean, that's our biggest seller right now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you're just right there taking your notes the entire time. Fourth
Yep.
of a cup of chocolate cocoa powder, fourth of a cup of salt. A couple of eggs, and you're right there along.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, wham, coming together right there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why it's like, it's, I think like normally we'd be okay with having 11, but like part of me is like, and this is something I'm trying to work on. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to work on like letting go of that control because I always want things to be perfect and orderly. And like, this is one of those moments I feel like that it's a test. It's a test that's coming down of like, we made 11. Do we really need to create two more cookies for this? Or can we just set like, can we be fine with 11? Like, is 11 going
yeah,
to be okay? Can I just sit back and go, that's how many we were supposed to make. We weren't supposed to make a baker's dozen. We were just supposed to make 11. And then can I just sit back and let that go? This is, you know what? This is what I've been working on. I've been talking to my therapist about this. And my
yeah,
therapist
yeah.
is like, you can't control everything. All right.
I've noticed that you've been working on letting go, and
Thank
it's
you.
been really refreshing. Because sometimes I feel like it's just like
Say it.
11 is fine, but 13 is maybe more right, but then it's like I feel like something's just a little bit off.
Yeah.
But you've been working on yourself, and that makes things a little bit better.
Wow. Thank you. Like I know I've been kind of tough to deal with at times and like I've been really, strict and stringent and you've just kind of let it roll off your back. So thank you. I mean, I want to say
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I just bottle
Yeah.
things up, and you know, I didn't really appreciate when you threw the pizza, tin at my head because I put one too many pepperoni slices on because I don't pay attention to detail,
That's
and you were
too
very
many.
specific about the numbers. Yeah, you were like, only put 48 slices of pepperoni on this half of the pizza. I put it all over the pizza instead of the left-hand side, and I put 55.
I know I was like 48 is the perfect number. It's divisible by
Yeah,
4 and it's divisible by 3 and it's divisible by 2 and it's divisible by 1. Like, boom, we should just stick at
yeah,
that. But like you're, having that, it has been a little bit of a struggle because I want to control everything. I don't want to let go. But having you around, by kind of like by osmosis, that feeling of don't be so strict. This what we're doing, baking is an art. And you
yeah,
can't do baking by spreadsheet. You've told me that time and time again. You're like, I
yeah,
can't be organized in this. That's what makes it the joy. And I'm like, no, we got to make it more uniform. And you're like, no, that's not what we're about. And then I go and I
yeah,
talk to my therapist and I
yeah,
start throwing things like a maniac.
yeah. And we don't call this business the risky biscuit for it no reason. We want to take risks, and we've been an innovator from day one with our molten chocolate lava cakes, and
Yes.
that's. But so we gotta keep innovating, but I think there's a way that we can meet in the middle. We can use science and art and combine them. And so that's what I've been working on and thinking about, because it's not fair for you to have to do all the work and just me get to indulge in my just terrible habits of being haphazard and putting not only the business at risk but our safety and our livelihood at risk.
I mean, yeah, we have skirted we have skirted along uh, the fine line that is food safety for a long time, and
Yeah.
always come out on top. And so
Yeah.
I think I want to make sure that that still is clear right there, because I want to make sure that when people come into the Risky Biscuit, they're getting only top quality food. And I think for a long time we've balanced each other out very well. And you know what? Today's the day that I'm going to let these 11 sit in the tray, and whoever comes through that door, if they want to have one of those cookies, I'm fine with that. And I'm not going to sit and just stare at it and be like, I really should have two more. You really should have two more. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go starting today. I'm letting it go.
Yeah. It doesn't really seem like you're letting it go, if I'm
I
going to be honest.
know. I keep staring at it.
You keep talking about it, and you keep
talking a lot about it
at them. Like, I don't feel like you just keep directly making eye contact with them, and I feel like you're not really listening, which is, even though I am a chaotic person, like, I just need you to hear me, and I feel like you're not, because you keep being like, well, I'm gonna let the 11 cookies go. And then we're talking, and then you're like, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Today's the day.
It has no power over me. You have no power over me, cookies. I'm in control of my own reaction. What is supposed to be is supposed to be. And if there's 11, it's meant to be 11. I don't need to be in control of this. I need to say my therapist gave me a mantra. So things are the way they're supposed to be. You don't need to control it. You don't need to make it better. It is what it is. Let it be. Well, let's open the door.
Yeah, I think we're ready. We got our cookies, we got the pizza, and we got our metaphorical cracking eggs to make omelets.
Yeah.
So we got this.
Scene. Hey, thank you for calling that out at the end where you're like, not letting go of it, because I was hoping you'd pick up on that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was fun. I couldn't see it. I'm looking. I have a coaster in front of me, and it looks like a cookie.
Oh, that's fun.
So I kept staring at that and picturing a cookie. That was real fun.
Yeah, it was tons of fun. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. What kind of improv are you doing down there?
Well, most of the people that I came up through classes with, because our one main theater is only short form, like to do short form, but I really love narrative long form improv.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a theater called the Hideout in Austin, Texas.
I've been doing a lot of their drop-in classes and stuff. So
I've
been living my best life. Because of this pandemic, I can do stuff like this and meet people and hang out, and it's fun.
Yeah, Roy down there, like all those folks, Valerie and all the folks, who are down there, they're doing great narrative work. They do great improv, but also it's very cheap. I think it's like $10.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
Steal.
Oh, so I'm glad you're doing that. I think narrative improv is great.
Yeah, well, and it's fun because I've always been interested in writing, and I love screenwriting and stuff. So narrative is the closest thing to that, and it's fun.
I mean, it's story, and everybody can follow a story. It's the easiest thing to do. We're natural. Humans are natural storytellers.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you were saying beforehand, you're gonna go to graduate school, right? That's your plan at some point. What are you gonna be studying there?
I got into DePaul University's comedic screenwriting program. So,
shut up.
So I'm really excited about that. It was really funny though, because their program is very much like a traditional screenwriting program, and it was really funny because I was, in my personal statement, I was just like, I want to do comedic journalism, and they still let me in. So
that's awesome. DePaul is an amazing school. Congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I'm ready to get out of Florida, and I'm really looking forward to moving away.
Yeah, and Chicago is a great comedy town too. So,
Yeah,
an
for sure.
improv town, obviously, but like
Yeah.
they've got great stand up, they've got great sketch. Like I think you'll just love it. And that neighborhood that DePaul's in is great. It's
It's
one of the nice
poppin'.
neighborhoods. Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
get by train to anywhere.
Yeah, which is nice because in Florida the local transportation is awful. It was funny because I went for my birthday weekend last year. I had never been to Chicago, and I was like, I should probably go before I just up and move to a random place I've never actually visited. But
Yeah,
it was so fun because I saw a show at Second City, and then I saw the Hitch Cocktail show at the Annoyance,
yeah.
and I was living my best life. Because in my undergrad degree, I minored in film studies, and my teachers like taught a lot of classes in Hitchcock, and so I was like, yes, my three favorite things:
Oh,
drinking, improv, and Hitchcock. And it was the most fun I think I've ever had at an improv show.
oh, well, that's yeah. That they do a great job. That show is really super fun, and like the Annoyance is one of the classic improv theaters in the
Yeah,
country, and they put on such great work. And yeah, like right on that strip where the Annoyance is, it's like Comedy Sports, and then
yeah,
7 7, like there's a whole bunch of, it's like Improv Row, and then you could walk to
yeah,
Second City from there. So it's I think you're gonna really love it.
yeah. So I'm really excited. I was kind of bummed when this whole pandemic happened and I couldn't move right away, but it worked out in my favor because now I have more time to plan. Because I was
Mhm.
just gonna do it by the seat of my pants and be like, I don't really have any money saved up or any plans, but I have to go to school now, so bye. Um,
Well, everything happens for a reason.
yeah, for sure. Because now I get to do online improv and meet a bunch of people, and I've just been trying to take full advantage of that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Where do you do improv? Like where were you doing it before the pandemic hit? Where were you performing or doing shows or
Um,
classes?
well, I took all the classes at SAC Comedy Lab, and then I was just doing a bunch of indie stuff. And last year, I created my own narrative long form format for the Orlando Fringe Festival. And the people that I directed in that show, like we started doing stuff together because we just enjoyed doing stuff together,
Yeah.
and then like we had like a whole bunch of shows, like we were getting a lot of momentum and had a lot of shows booked up, and then it was just like pandemic, and then all the momentum was like, well, you know, just the
Yeah.
stereotypical of like when you think you have life planned,
Yeah.
you don't.
You don't.
um,
Yeah, it's like those folks who are religious or believe in God are like, make plans and watch God laugh kind of thing, where it's like
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
make plans, but like hardly ever do the plans work out, right? It's like you have a
yeah,
plan. Sometimes it does, sometimes it takes a different way, but a lot of times it's what are you doing along the way to what you think you're gonna end up doing.
yeah, for sure.
Um, Charlotte, where can people find you online? Like, what's the best way if people want to get a hold of you or just follow things you're doing?
Um, just on Facebook. I haven't like kept up with my social media like I need to.
It gets overwhelming at times.
Yeah, I thought about deleting my Facebook through this pandemic just because I'm tired of seeing people post conspiracy theories
Oh
and
my
stuff
God.
and like
Yeah.
argue about like, should I be wearing a mask or is it okay? And I'm just like, y'all, like if you want to die, that's cool, but like whatever.
But don't kill me. Don't kill me along the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. So
Well, I thank you so much for taking time
yeah,
out.
thank you.
And
It was super fun.
yeah, it was really fun playing with you. Super easy. And I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, Charlotte.
You too.
Bye.